And that's where you insert the sound. Diet Coke. And then those commercials where they pour it into their mouth, like those Sprite commercials from the 90s, early 2000s. Like, whenever I'm playing basketball, I like to drink Sprite from 6 inches above my mouth.
And let it spray on me like Gatorade.
Well, I didn't think you were going to say Gatorade. I'm just going to be honest. Didn't think you were going to say Gatorade.
My brain heard it. My brain heard it.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
God, that's really annoying.
Me? Yeah, I know.
No, sorry. The webcam, that's me. You can find us online. And the webcam I use to talk to Andrew for this keeps like flickering my background over and over and over again. And it's very, very annoying.
This is primarily what you use the webcam for, not your OnlyFans page.
I did stream on Twitch for like a month and a half.
Your internet sort of shot you in the foot? No,
I just kind of got busy and I had a 4-day streaming schedule for 3 hours a week, and that was unsustainable.
That's a lot.
Yeah, with on top of everything else that we do. And
I smell pot smoke.
Huh.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. God. Pulling through the front of the shed. Oh my God.
Andrew is now being hotboxed by neighbors.
Seriously. You can also, the walls are starting to melt. You can also find this show on YouTube every Monday at namely90s.com/YouTube. Should I just start? And finally, if you'd like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/namely90s with a 90s. Get signed up for one of our support levels, and someone must just be taking massive bong rips right outside the shed.
You just know that I would leave this in unless you even if we restarted right now, I would leave this in unless you specifically told me not to leave it in.
Why would you not leave this in? This is gold.
Well, you just said, should we restart? I'm like, we really should restart at this point. It's only been 2 minutes, and it's already off the rails.
We like to keep it interesting. We're back. Okay. To you, the listener, we were never gone, obviously.
We would never do that to you until the one time we do.
However, we definitely... However, I stole that from My Favorite Murder. You're welcome. Goodbye. Anyway, so Brandon went on vacation. I had a staycation, but we haven't recorded for 2 weeks.
A little more than 2 weeks.
Oh,
and last week was recorded before the 4th of July special, which happened like the day of or the day after the ruling. So
the ruling, which still sucks.
Yeah, if we seemed more cheerful last week than the week prior, there was a reason for that. Welcome back to hell. Thank
you for keeping our seats warm.
Yep.
So I appreciate it.
We did a nice improv warm up before we started, which I feel we should have done a couple more because we were already off rails.
Well, the problem was I was just saying all the connecting words, so I made an effort to say something. Like, it's hard not to use a connecting word.
You took the reins and then
just again off the rail.
Yeah.
It all comes back to sex jokes at the end of the day, right? I feel like every song ultimately is about sex, and every joke ultimately is about sex.
I never knew our podcast was ultimately about sex.
It is.
Good to know. Good to know.
Mostly sexual tension.
Well, then, yes. Hello there. It's just now I feel like it's inappropriate for me to segue to me vacationing with my extended family.
Extended is right.
Oh,
Heyo. So sorry.
So we should talk about your new normal as a disgusting human being.
Yes. I'm going to start traveling the countryside in our brand new camper.
Ow.
We bought a trailer.
Was it a big one? How long is it?
You know, I get that question a lot.
Do you?
Well, so technically it's a 16 footer, but there's some with the old frame and hitch thing. It's about 20 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got like a little queen bed, like a short queen, and then it's got a couple bunks for the kids. Then the kitchen table somehow turns into a bed. It's got solar, so we're being sustainable.
It's still
off the grid.
Still a trailer?
It's a trailer.
Okay.
It's not a pop-up like Jacob used to have with the crank.
Yeah.
It's a camper.
Okay. Cool.
And yeah, so we got it today and we booked some trips already.
Wow.
And so consequently, I also bought a truck.
Oh, as you do when you purchase a trailer that you have to
here. Let me for the camera
trail
up,
with. See? Wow, I'm surprised that you would show us anything relating to.
So I will tell you,
doxing yourself.
For those of you who don't know us well and didn't grow up with us, you grew up with a guy named Jacob.
We did.
Jacob is all about towing things and trailers and camping and always has been.
Yes.
In fact, his job consists of towing trailers like 2 or 3 of the times the size of that every day. And so the guy was just like, all right, here you go. Good luck. And he just like shook my hand and walked off, and I had to hitch the thing up. And I was like, oh God. So I had Jacob on the phone and I was like, this is connected to that. And this looks like this. And he's like, you're fine.
When's the last time you towed? Did you ever tow anything? For the 10 to 15 years you drove a truck?
I've towed a couple things. I towed something when I was in my last house. So 3 years ago, a little trailer just to do a dump run. And I forgot to chalk the wheels, and it was on a sloped driveway, and it started rolling toward me, and I had to like push it back up the driveway.
Wow.
And I'm not strong.
No, I was going to say that's a Herculean feat for you.
And there was no one around to help. I was like, I couldn't get my phone out.
How'd you chalk it?
I think I finally got it to just like the front part to drop down and kind of like dig in so that it stopped rolling. It was very frightening.
Yeah.
But then when I got to the dump, I was like, uh-oh, the pressure's on. I have to back a trailer up. And, you know, they're like waving you back and there's other people trying to get in. Mm-hmm. And I nailed it.
Why'd you take the trailer to? This was the.
I don't remember why I took a trailer. I think I didn't have a truck at that time. I think I had my Edge.
I thought you were talking about your current trailer. This whole
No, it was like a flatbed U-Haul.
Gotcha.
Short-sided trailer.
No.
Anyway, we're excited. We booked a couple sites.
Cool. And do you want to dox yourself for people listening so they can come say hi when you're out?
No.
Okay.
No, don't talk to me ever.
only through Twitter.
Right, which I never use. I also never use Instagram. I posted like 12 pictures in 5 years. No, more than 5 years. Many years. Anyway.
To be fair, I think I've posted like a picture per year for the last few years.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Instagram, frankly, and it's all about stories and reels and TikToks and snip snaps.
I was looking at someone's profile today, and I was like, I'm not going to follow you. You every single post you have is a reel, and I know that's good for SEO or whatever, or because it's what they promote now on Instagram. But just like, no, I can't do it.
I don't know how to make them. It's bad.
It's just, I mean, you sent me a photo yesterday, but it was a live photo of something.
Did I?
Yeah. You sent me a live photo of something.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
And I was like, well, Andrew's reached the age where he
it did it automatically. I don't even know how that happened.
Where he doesn't realize that live photo is automatically the thing that's selected when you open your photo app.
The thing where I sent you the person whose name was Hayden Christensen.
Yes, that was pretty funny. Are you allowed to say that on?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's the name of it's the name of an actor.
Fair enough.
I made a correction there. Okay. Anyway.
From the Star Wars movie.
So how was the foray into the coast?
Well, it was good. Picked up a lot of cheese curds on my way back to the central coast of California from the central coast of Oregon. Because there's
Tillamook?
I had Tillamook cheddar cheese curds, and then I had Face Rock, Garlic Slayer or Vampire Slayer. Yeah, they made curds. So
and whey.
Yes, but they sell the curds of the Garlic Slayer cheese. So
imagine just drinking the whey as like a beverage.
Well,
on ice.
What did they do in the olden times? Did they eat it like a porridge or? I
don't know. I feel like they probably used
Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet.
They probably mixed it in with something. I don't know. It's like the original protein shake.
Well, she ate her curds and whey, so I don't know.
So she's just eating a bowl of like
cheese byproduct,
like chunky cheese and fluid. Oh,
so cottage cheese.
Yeah, that's disgusting. She probably had a fairly large tuffet.
Anyway, I've been eating poutine for like the last 3 days.
Oh, yeah. Homemade fries and gravy or just
homemade fries? I use Yukon Golds.
What are you frying those puppies in?
Canola, just because that's what I have.
Weak. No, just kidding.
That's that's what I have for my deep frying.
Beef tallow.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're making your own brown gravy there?
Yep. The stock I bought, but I made the gravy myself.
Nice. Nice.
I would have used my own. I make my own stock just from like scraps, leftover scraps, but it's usually ends up being chicken stock. So, and I've never actually made a beef stock.
You're listening to Namely Gravy.
Gravy.
Good Pods.
Yes. If you're listening to us on Good Pods, give us a like and a nice review and share us with your friends, because I think that's the social media one.
It should be. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, Andrew's a discussing RV guy now, and I'm back from the Oregon coast. So, shall we roll into it?
Let's do it. First, I'm going to see if I'm about to get tab stuff.
And you most likely didn't watch the Clerks 3 trailer before we started this.
No. Oh, no, of course not. I'm sorry.
It's fine. We could talk about it another time, because we'll most likely be watching Clerks in the future for our September special.
Oh, I have to say, I did finally see There's Something About Mary. And I had no idea what that movie was really actually about. And it was funny. It was funny in parts.
Splooging his hair.
It was a little bit campy for me. I don't know, some of the parts. Like the private investigator guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was just, and then we watched another movie that I had never seen before. Oh, I finally watched Wedding Crashers. We talked about that? I think we talked about that.
No. Well, yes, we talked about that. Not on the show, though.
Which I realize it's not a 90s show, a movie, but I just have to make the point that there are several like things that people say that came from that movie that I didn't know, and then I watched it. It's a good movie. I like Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
What things do they say from that movie?
Can't remember now.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. An entire podcast of Owen Wilson saying wow. Wow.
I mean, stage 5 clinger, but
there was something else. I don't know. Maybe they took it from other things that made it up, but I just heard phrases I was familiar with. And then it's been so long now that I can't remember anything.
So Something About Mary.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the podcast before, I think.
Yeah, I think we did. I didn't realize it had the guy from
Ben Stiller.
Schitt's Creek. No, Chris Elliott.
Oh, yeah. Chris Elliott's in a lot of 90s movies.
I know, but he says something in that movie that sounds like he's foreshadowing he's going to be rolling shit. It's kind of funny.
But you don't
foreshadowing? Well, he said something about... Oh, gosh. Hold on.
Yes, he said something that an unborn child would one day write.
Yep.
Because Dan Levy's...
But I do have to say, he basically plays the same character in everything he's in.
Yeah. A little skeezy. A little creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, he played Lily's dad in How I Met Your Mother. Anyway.
Did he?
He did. And he was a loser board game maker that could never make a hit game, but always focused on that.
Well, let's talk about what was going on, if you will, in July of 1991.
Travel back with me, listeners, to July of 1991. On the first, Court TV, which apparently turned into True TV, debuts. I didn't know that. I didn't know those two were related. On the 9th, the Olympics allow South Africa back into the games since South Africa ended what?
Apartheid.
There we go. On the 12th, it's our quiz thing. On the 12th, Eric Per Sullivan, no idea who that.
One Eric Per Sullivan.
Yeah.
Only one.
Born. Do you know who that is, Andrew?
I'm gonna mind meld here. Is that Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle?
That is. How did you know that one?
Lucky guess.
It's right in there in front of you, isn't it? On the 19th, Square releases Final Fantasy IV in Japan, which is the first Final Fantasy game for the Super Famicom. That's their version of the Super Nintendo, and is released in November of 1991 as Final Fantasy II here in North America.
Remember when Rhombus released Penultimate Fantasy? Geometry jokes.
I'm going to let everyone just digest that one real quick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On the 22nd, Jeffrey Dahmer confesses to killing 17 men in 1978.
Well, to be honest, who didn't kill 17 men in 1978, you know?
Yeah, it's the era of serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
On the 20th...
killer mustaches, so to speak.
Did Jeffrey Dahmer have a mustache?
No, but like people had mustaches in the 70s. Did he?
Probably had like the sideburns too. On the 24th, Emily Bett Rickards is born. She is from Arrow. Do you know Arrow?
Arrow, a directional symbol. It's on the CW, isn't it?
It used to be. It's been over for 2 seasons now.
Okay.
And the whole Arrowverse is probably ending after this next season. Well, actually, they're trying to do a Green Lantern spinoff on.
Oh, I bet they do.
HBO Max, but I don't think that's going to happen. On the 25th, Seattle Mariner, Jay Buhner. Emily Bett Rickards plays Felicity. She's the love interest.
Huffman? No, sorry.
On the 25th, Seattle Mariner, Jay Buhner hits a 479-foot home run in Yankee Stadium. That's a pretty big home run there. On the 26th, Paul Rubens, also known best as his stage character Pee Wee Herman, is arrested in Florida for exposing himself in an adult movie theater, which is weird because I thought that was something that happened later on.
I mean, when your name's Pee Wee, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know? He pulled out his Pee Wee in the adult movie theater. This wasn't a children's movie theater. Good God.
That's true.
Also, those don't exist, but
yes, but also like what we had the internet for at least by the time we hit puberty, so I don't understand the point of going to an adult movie theater.
You're like
and just sitting there not like just watching it like
wow, this is an enjoyable production.
Yes, this is an X-rated movie that I've come to watch for the plot.
You know, people do that annoying thing where they're like, I want to remember this moment, and they like click. That's him. Click in the movie.
Theater.
On the
27th, the TV Guide publishes its 2000th edition.
Okay.
On the 29th, Miki Ishikawa, actress from Andrew. Any guesses?
I don't even know what that is that you wrote there. Fatwis?
She is the waitress at the Japanese restaurant in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay. Fatwiss, as I like to call it.
She's born. Yeah, that was the acronym. And I think she's in other things. On the 30th, MTV announces it will split into 3 channels in 1993.
And what were those channels? Go.
MTV, MTV2, and MTV... Fuck.
MTV 8, the Ocho. Okay, no, I stole that joke shamelessly from Dodgeball.
Is the third one...
VH1. VH2. No, I don't think so.
Is the third one VH1? Damn it.
No, I don't think so.
I knew this when I wrote it down. I don't remember. There was a third MTV channel, right? You remember that?
I do not recall. Like I'm on trial. I don't recall.
TV premiering and ending on the 4th. We have Salute Your Shorts on Nickelodeon. And on the 8th. Shop Till You Drop premieres on Lifetime. Do you remember Shop Till You Drop? I feel like that's something. MTV Classic, that's what it was.
It was like a shopping spree show.
Or no, that was VH1 Classic. Maybe it was MTV3.
Wow, very original. MTV1, MTV2. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, so there was MTVU, which was... Yeah, no, it was MTV1, M2, and MTV3.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. Anyway. In the box office, we have... On the 2nd, we have Terminator 2 Judgment Day. On the 12th, we have Boys in the Hood, starring Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Lawrence Fishburne, and Angela Bassett.
Are you sure it's not Harry Connick Jr.?
I'm 80% sure.
Could you imagine?
Harry Connick Jr. and Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at that point in time, they would still like throw around the idea of him doing blackface in the movie. Which you should not do, even if it is a joke. On the 12th, Point Break.
I'm confused by Point Break. Point Break. So it's a surfing movie, but also somehow like an action movie.
I would say it's more an action movie. It's we'll probably talk about it further in the episode, but the most apt comparison I've heard lately is that it was Fast and the Furious if you replaced the cars with surfing.
Okay.
It's an undercover cop movie.
They made a new one.
Yes, which was terrible.
It looks horrifying.
From what I understand. On the 19th, another Keanu film, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is released.
Okay. Bill and Ted.
Which is a sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And on the 31st, we have the first Hot Shots. Do you know what Hot Shots is?
Is it like a Air Force flying movie?
I believe, yes, it is. It is a parody movie and of like Top Gun. And do you know who stars in it?
That I do not know. I couldn't even hazard a guess.
Like, what actor would you think? Okay.
1991. It's a comedian, I assume.
Kind of.
1991.
1991. He has a brother that's also an actor and a famous father that's also an actor.
Oh, one of the Belushis?
No. 1991, because John Belushi would be dead at that point. He drank tiger blood.
A little bit more.
Tiger blood doesn't.
No.
John Cryer is also in this, and this would not be the only time that he
Charlie
worked with.
Sheen.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the tiger blood. I say hashtag winning, isn't that?
Hashtag winning, yes.
That would have been a dead giveaway. Charlie Sheen. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. I remember the cover. There's a second one called Hot Shots Part 2. and it's him dressed up as Rambo.
Like, is he a comedian?
Right. Anyway, that's all we're going to talk about for Hot Shots. On the Billboard charts for July of 1991, number one in from June for the first 2 weeks is Rush Rush by Paula Abdul. And for the third week, we have Unbelievable by EMF. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that song. I always forget how that came out much earlier than I thought.
Right? But they just kept playing it over and over and over and
over again.
Yeah, unbelievable. And finally, for the last...
Okay, sorry.
For the last week and out through August and into September is parenthesis, Everything I Do, close parenthesis, I Do It For You by Bryan Adams.
Everything I do. Okay, sorry. Why is it in parenthesis?
For you.
Parenthesis first. I do it for you. Ugh.
Especially when Everything I Do is probably what people think of when they think of the song's title. Good question. Continuing on for third week of July 1991. Number 3, we have Right Here, Right Now by Jesus Hones. Remember that one?
Jesus
right
Hones.
Here, right now.
Right here, right now. There you go. A new podcast where we just do that. And no one listens.
That could be
fucking annoying.
That should be on like a YouTube Shorts or something. Number 6.
Okay, sorry, I'm done.
I Wanna Sex You Up by Color Me Bad. Number 9 is Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. That song really slaps. There it is.
Number 10, Here I Am.
You got quiet.
Come and Take Me by UB40. Am I still quiet?
What does that song sound like? Yeah, you sound better.
Here I am, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Come and take me by the hand.
Oh, right. Sorry, I put that on my regular speakers. Somehow you're coming through my cans, and that's coming through my main speakers. I don't know how that's happening.
Yeah, I did that to myself the other week with my weird setup. On the number 21 is More Than Words by Extreme. And number 22 is Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohen. I do like that song.
Isn't that a remake of that? That song's been around for a long time, hasn't it?
Was it?
That was like with Steve Winwood.
Well, that's the one where it's like, I put on my blue suede shoes and I...
Once again, I recognize it because it's done by a country artist later. So Mark Cohen is the original.
Of course. They had to have played Walking in Memphis on Star 101.5 though.
Yeah, I just think people have covered it a lot though.
Oh, yeah, it's fair. It's a very nice song.
It's a good song.
I was walking in Memphis.
Getting some real good street barbecue. No, he doesn't say that. Improv. Okay, sorry. Now let's go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to our mid-episode break, Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of the final season of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, we are looking back at the first sequel in the Jurassic Park franchise, The Lost World Jurassic Park. The Lost World Jurassic Park is a 1997 science fiction action film sequel to the 1993 Jurassic Park, loosely based on the sequel novel to Jurassic Park, The Lost World. The film stars David Levinson from Independence Day as Dr. Ian Malcolm, Maggie from Boogie Nights as his girlfriend, a behavioral paleontologist, not Owen Wilson from Wedding Crashers as Nick Van Owen, no relation, a documentarian, and Dr. Aaron Glassman from The Good Doctor as a field equipment expert. The movie begins with the girl from 10,000 BC being attacked by tiny dinosaurs, followed by David Attenborough's brother asking the Fly to come visit, where he's reunited with those two annoying kids from the last movie that unfortunately didn't die, and then he's told there's a second island with more dinosaurs. Also, his girlfriend is there. So the Grandmaster heads out with the rest of the team to meet up with her and study the dinos. Well, he wants to get her off the island safely. But unfortunately, as soon as they're reunited, another group shows up and steals a baby T-Rex. Also, Invasion of the Body Snatcher's daughter has stowed away on his RV fortress, which is where they recover and bring the baby T-Rex back to, which causes Mama and Papa T-Rex to come looking for it and sends the RV over the cliffside. They're rescued by the evil N-Gen team, who are then attacked by the T-Rexes before they try to make it to the abandoned N-Gen base through a field of tall grass filled with raptors to call for help. Help arrives, everyone who wasn't eaten is rescued, Malcolm's daughter does some gymnastics into a raptor, sending it out a window. The end. They definitely didn't do anything else in this movie. They didn't send a baby T-Rex and the mother T-Rex to San Diego in a thinly veiled allegory about SeaWorld that just evolves into a rampaging T-Rex chasing a car with a baby and it's on the way back to the boat. At least it was better than Jurassic Park 3. And that's The Lost World Jurassic Park in a namely 90s minute. More or less.
And now back to the show.
Anywhere you want to go?
Let's see. Here's what I know. Terminator 2, Robert Patrick's in that one, I'm pretty sure.
He is in that one.
Robert Patrick Harris. Neil. No, sorry. I'm trying to do before and after with names.
Robert Neil Patrick Harris.
Was he the good guy or he was a bad guy?
He was a T-1000 Terminator, which was the...
I'm confused. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger good or bad in Terminator?
In Terminator, he is bad. In all the subsequent films, he is generally good.
Point Break, Keanu Reeves. And I also remember it because the movie Hot Fuzz, which is a hilarious one, Edgar Wright film, the Cornetto trilogy, references that movie heavily. And I find that very funny. And then Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure, I've never seen, but tying it all back in, it's got a little Keanu in it.
Keanu. Yeah. Is that, did you just, to use an uncouth phrase, did you just blow your load on everything that you knew about the topics for today?
But let's go into it. Let's go into it. Because there's things I don't know that I need to know.
All right, let's do Terminator 2 Judgment Day first, because I think that's the big one. That's what we did the Quotely 90s on. It is a 1991 science fiction action film produced and directed by James Cameron.
And little Jimmy was the director on this. That's news to me.
And he co-writer. So this is a sequel to the 1984 The Terminator. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Robert Patrick, and Edward Furlong. And it is the second installment in the Terminator franchise in Quotely 90s, which you can hear on the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show. If you listen to them all the way to the end, that's when our segment is, where we give them quotes every single week and yada, yada, yada. Hi, Gaz and Dange, if you're listening.
Yada, 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 yada.
But yeah, check them out. They're 80s and 90s retro fun. A lot more fun than we are. Anyway, Terminator 2, we said on Quotely 90s that it set up 3 separate timelines of failed sequels.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So basically in this movie, it does a lot to mirror the first one, which I'm pretty sure James Cameron also wrote and directed. Because, he married Linda Hamilton for a while in the 90s.
I'm sorry, but they both could have fit on that door.
Titanic.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yes.
Never saw it.
Neither. I haven't seen it all the way through either. The plot is the Skynet, which is an artificial intelligence, sends a Terminator back in time to kill the future leader of the human resistance, who's John Connor. That's the same plot as the first one. But this time it's when he's a child instead of killing him when he's killing his mother, Sarah Connor.
I had something happen the other day that reminds me of this. You're like, what? So I'm in the kitchen. I'm like making food, and as you know, I'm not very stable. I fall over a lot, especially if like I step on something and I don't expect it there, or like kind of fall back on something. And the little the little robot vacuum was behind me and it made me fall. I was like, oh God, it's breaking the first rule. It's harming people.
And then as you're on the ground, it keeps bumping into you, trying to find its.
It's like that Family Guy thing. Like, it's using tools. Run.
So that I wish I had follow-up questions for that, but that was just the perfect.
Yeah,
anecdote.
it sucked. Hey-oh, vacuum jokes.
How long were you sitting on that one?
That's what she said. This has been a lowbrow podcast. No, I was just thinking, I saw Terminator, I think, on TV.
You've seen Terminator?
Part
the original
of it.
one? Oh.
And it was just like Arnold Schwarzenegger's character was like flipping through a phone book and calling all of the Sarah Connors. And I'm like, imagine that scene today. People would be like, where is he? Why is there a book of phone numbers? What is this?
To be fair, I think in this one, the T-1000, Robert Patrick's character, kills a cop and then hacks into the police database in a police cruiser to find where John Connor is.
Yeah, that's how that works.
And then, especially in 1995, it's definitely web-based.
And one thing leads to another, and he joins the cast of the X-Files.
Right. Also in this is, I don't remember his name. You watched Eureka for a little while, didn't you?
Like briefly for 2 or 3 episodes, and I lost interest. But yes.
Do you remember the inventor, the crazy inventor guy?
Yeah. Let's say yes.
You don't?
No, who was it?
Joe Morton.
No.
He was the black guy. Oh, okay.
It's been too long. I literally
the show at all.
Watched the original airing of like the first 2 episodes, and that's it.
I got into it later in the series, but you'd recognize him if you watched more science fiction stuff, like because like Robert Patrick, he also gets placed in other.
What's this actor's name?
Joe Morton.
Dead now?
No, he should be alive.
Oh, this guy. Yeah, he was a guest star in House. They played a politician with stutter or something like that.
So basically, after the initial like fake out of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator is going to kill John Connor. Oh wait, no, he's here to save him. And then they escape on a motorcycle into the LA canals. And then Robert Patrick drives a semi truck off a freeway into the canal to chase them. It's a really cool scene. I highly recommend it.
Rad.
And chases them down. And then they escape. And then they free Sarah Connor from a mental hospital. After that part of the plot ends, they're like, oh, Skynet happens to coincidentally be starting up right now. And Joe Morton plays the scientist inventor that they saved pieces of the previous Terminator and used that in modern technology. And that's how Skynet
still exists today.
Yes. And then they prevent it by, I forget what happens. But I think he dies trying to.
Jeff Goldblum uploads a virus.
Pretty much. And then still the apocalypse happens eventually. 3 different ways. Terminator 3, we have, which leads into Terminator Salvation, I guess. And then that timeline gets erased for the one with Emilia Clarke.
It's too much. It's all too much.
And then James Cameron came back and was like, all of those continuities don't matter. And made that most recent Terminator movie where Sarah Connor is no longer important. A very bad CG Edward Furlong gets shot on the beach. And there's a new apocalypse or whatever.
I thought you were going to say Edward Norton. I was like, ugh.
That was Red Dragon.
Okay.
But yeah, Terminator 2 Judgment Day is the pinnacle. It is the best Terminator movie if you're going to go back and watch Terminator.
I mean, good cast. Can't beat Bobbert Patrick.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more funny. This is where we get Hasta La Vista Baby from.
Hasta La Vista Baby.
And then...
is that a glitch? Did they accidentally... That's Spanish, right?
So Edward Furlong's John Connor character is like this little shit of a kid, and he's like, you gotta blend in, you gotta know like the lingo, man. You gotta say the cool things like "Hasta la vista, baby" when you're leaving, or "I'll be back." Yeah, or wait, "I'll be back" might have been the first one. It was actually the first one where he's at the police station and he's like, I need to see Sarah Connor, and they're like,
I need to see that I'm gone.
Like, well, you need a ID or something, buddy. And then he's like, I'll be back, and he like drives a car through the front of the police station.
His ID is just a huge gun.
He does pull out a shotgun, I think. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen either movie, but The Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day, highly recommend. I like Terminator 3 personally. Salvation sucks. That was the one that Christian Bale was in. I think we saw it. I know I saw it. And I saw it. I know I saw it in theaters, and it was when we were in high school, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, that's Terminator 2 in a Namely 90s minute. More or less. Terminator. Where should we go next?
I think we got to go with Point Break.
It was 2009, so I saw it in college. Not Point Break. Terminator Salvation. Yeah. Point Break.
Keanu. Never saw it. It's a 1991 American action crime film directed by Catherine Bigelow and written by W. Peter Iliff.
Really need to figure out what's important.
Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves, Lori Petty, just because I feel like I should include her. I don't know who it is. And Gary Busey, who has got a very large smile. Teeth.
Tooth of them.
So apparently it doesn't actually have to do with surfing. But the new one is horrible. And apparently it's like an FBI agent tries to infiltrate a group of elite athletes. And I think it's a surfing movie.
No, Point Break. Okay.
No, the new one. The old one, no.
But they're the same. They're surfing. It's a group of surfers. But
this is a group of bank robbers, not a group of elite athletes.
Well, yes, but in the new one, it's a group of elite athletes that are robbing banks or some shit.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah. This one, they're just adrenaline junkies that are robbing banks.
That's
I believe.
Dumb.
Yeah. But so this is it is. I said earlier, it's Fast and Furious, except with surfing, and there's skydiving. So like, yeah.
What if there was just an entire version with cats called the Fast and the Curious? And they all die at the end. We all know how dangerous curiosity can be to cats.
Very true. Very true. Yes. So basically, Keanu Reeves' character is named Johnny Utah. And there's a gang of bank robbers called the Ex-Presidents. They wear like rubber masks.
The masks.
Yeah. Reagan, Carter, Nixon, and I think Lyndon B. Johnson. But yeah, Utah goes undercover to infiltrate the surfing community.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that.
And he meets the girl after he attempts to surf and almost drowns, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a former football star, but I got injured, and I wanna learn to surf." And then she's like, "Oh, you should meet Bodie," and Bodie's Swayze. And then he gets in close, and there's like this thing where they're like, I forget, like the skydiving. I remember the skydiving is important at one point. Like Johnny Utah gets in with the gang, and then they do a robbery or something.
They do a robbery.
They do a couple robberies. But Johnny Utah defies his superior, like in Fast and the Furious, and then I forget what happens, but for some reason he's forced onto the plane at gunpoint, and then they parachute from the plane, leaving Johnny Utah to take the blame. with no other parachutes left, he jumps after them with Bodhi's gun to go after them. But his knee gives out, and that allows Bodhi to escape. And then 9 months later,
the child is born.
No, Utah tracks Bodhi to a beach in Victoria, Australia, where there's like a record surf storm.
They say Victoria, Canada, like Victoria, BC.
Yeah, right.
It's just raining.
It's just raining.
Do you want to hear a sentence that was written by someone who's not from the United States?
Sure.
It was shot across the western coast of the continental United States.
Fair enough. Yeah. So Utah, an FBI agent somehow in Australia is trying to take in an American criminal bank robber. They have a brawl in the surf. There's like a 50-year storm that Bodhi's trying to surf. And Bodhi's like, just let me ride this once in a lifetime wave. And Utah is like, yeah, you're not going to survive this. And he goes and...
Spoiler alert, he does.
No, I'm pretty sure he dies.
Oh, okay. There was like a shooting scene where he shoots at the sky instead of at him.
Yes.
Because this is actually his dad.
I think this is this. No, I think that's this scene.
Okay.
And then the Bodhi surfs to his death, and then Utah throws his badge away.
This is when Nick Frost is like, have you ever fired your gun to the air and gone, ah?
Yep. There you go. There you go.
No, I've never fired my gun to the air and gone, ah. God, I love that movie so much.
I haven't watched that in a long time.
Great movie.
So it has a cult following. There was a remake. We don't talk about the remake.
It sounds horrible.
I haven't seen it, just like you, but I know all the points because of pop culture. And with
pop goes the culture.
Anyway, that's Point Break, and if we got anything wrong,
you're welcome.
Let Andrew know it, namely Andrew on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know anything about anything. It's fine.
Episode's getting long, but we should do Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure real quick.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see who's more Bill and who's more Ted. But yeah, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, as we said, is sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which is why I always write it as Bogus Adventure. And yeah, there's a sequel that came out last year, the year before, Bill and Ted Face the Music, where they're like really old now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So we taking this quiz?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Guess we'll just have a long episode.
Well, this shouldn't take too long.
All right, we're taking Are You More Bill or Ted from BuzzFeed that they did for Bill and Ted Face the Music.
All right. Ooh, it's good if it's on IFC.
If you were in a world-saving band, which instrument would you most likely play? Guitar, drums, singer, or harmonica?
I'm going to go harmonica. I'm kind of on like a blues traveler kick lately.
It's been stuck in my head lately too. I would like to sing, but I can't. So I think out of the four, guitar would be...
drumming is outrageously difficult.
I can play some rhythm guitar. I can't play I can't
opposed to
guitar.
Blues guitar, blues drums.
What word do you hope your closet...
Nope. What word do you hope your closeted friends use to describe you? Let me read that. What word do you hope your closest friends use to describe you? Loyal, kind, funny, ambitious. Loyal for me.
I would go with kind for me.
Are these somehow gendered terms? Because some of them are in pink and some of them are in blue.
That's a good question that I don't have the answer to. If you had to win a popular board game against, I don't know, death, which game do you feel you'd have the best chance of dominating? Is it Battleship, Chess, Monopoly, or Twister?
Battleship.
Yeah, I think I would agree with. Well, I mean, I was a chess team captain in high school, so I was going to go with Monopoly.
Pick the 90s slang you'd most like to make a comeback. Bogus, as if, da bomb, or booyah.
I'd like to go with bogus before you take it. Because I do say that from time to time.
I like as if. As if.
As if. You are going to get a girl. Which of the following colors speaks more to your overall vibe? Green, blue, red, or purple?
I'm going green. The color of nausea.
I usually vibe with the blue.
What are you most likely to be doing at a party? Chatting with friends, dancing, eating, looking for the exit, or weeping in the corner? No. Chatting with friends.
At a party,
Eating.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you doing eating? I would be looking for the exits.
I'd be looking for the toilet.
I'm just always trying to, Q said, always have an exit plan, 007. And finally, pick a classic rock album to blast as you save the world. Back in Black by AC/DC, Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, Abbey Road by the Beatles, or Thriller by Michael Jackson.
AC/DC. I think if you blast the Beatles in any circumstance, you're a freaking weirdo.
Yeah, blasting Abbey Road to save the world would be a bit weird. You took mine because I was going to do Back in Black. Thriller's pretty good, but I only know like 2 songs off of it, so I guess I would blast Dark Side of the Moon, which
blast
is not
it. Just do a bunch of acid and just blast Pink Floyd.
Which again is not like something you would blast to save the world.
No.
All right. Am I going first? I guess I'm going first. I got Bill. You're a great friend and the very definition of an optimist. You don't let this big, sometimes scary world get you down or ruin your good time. If we could all strive to be a little more excellent to each other like you always do, the world would be a less bogus place.
I regret to inform you, I also got Bill.
We chose no similar.
No, exactly. Every response combination gives you Bill
or Ted. Did you get the exact same write-up too?
Same write-up and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why would they have 4 options?
I would like to say, going back to another Simon Pegg, Nick Frost movie, Don't Stop Me Now when they're fighting all the zombies. That's a pretty good one to blast as you're trying to save the world. That's a good scene.
Yes, Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. That's not the actual name of the song, is it? Yeah,
it might be. It's parenthesis, don't, close parenthesis, stop me now.
Actually, I think it is. You just got the parentheses wrong.
Oh.
But yeah, my favorite line from that song is "I'm a sex machine waiting to explode."
It brings me back to the 10-word story.
Yes, Don't Stop Me Now does not have parentheses in it. And that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Welcome you. Blah, 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 blah. You can always find new episodes out every Monday. Check the episode description for this week's supplemental Spotify playlist curated by yours truly, which I now will have to remember to have songs from Thriller.
Don't Stop Me Now.
Back in Black. Don't Stop Me Now. And
something blastable by the Beatles. Yeah, I don't know.
Pink Floyd. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely90s with a 90s, or find our personal Twitter accounts at bshwitty and at NamelyAndrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about in future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with 90s. And if you do, please let us know that you did, because it's been we've been waiting to do Patreon content for a while. Finally, you can also contact us at our website, Namely90s.com, and please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Bogus, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
That's a wrap.